Good morning, YouTube or BookTube. This is Johnny. I gonna make a video. It's going on a new week here in West Michigan. It is a Sunday morning in West Michigan. It is May the 3rd, 2020. It is a Sunday. It is 7:18 in the morning. And yeah, we started a new week. It's been going on. It's been about 5 days since I made a video. And it just seems the days go by. My wife has been off and last 5 days, and she goes back to work Tuesday and Wednesday. Not much really has changed since the last video. I been writing in my diary. I'm on page 433 this morning, and I've been reading the last couple of mornings. I read this, one thing about making videos, I've been thinking that I'm a slow reader. I mean, I watch a lot of BookTube, and people have said, well, I read 11 books this week, or they do monthly wrap-ups and all the books they've read throughout a given month. And for me, I'm a slow reader, and that's one of the reasons why I don't make videos. I keep saying, well, I'm just going to be showing the same books that I showed in my last video. And since we're under this pandemic, all the thrift stores are closed, so I can't show any new books, even though I did get a book in the mail yesterday. But anyway, going back, I've been reading Unity and Continuity and Covenantal Thought, a Study in Reformed Tradition to the Westminster Assembly by Andrew A. Woolsey. I've been reading this. I read this yesterday. I'm on chapter 8 in this book, John Calvin on the Unity of the Covenant. I did order a book from Reformation Heritage Books in Grand Rapids. It's a book by a Puritan who did a treatise on the Covenant of Works. I'm supposed to get that this week. My wife says, why are you reading Covenant Theology? Since I've been reading about Covenant Theology since like 1975. I'm just interested in Covenant Theology, so it's a new Puritan reprint, and I collect Puritan reprints, as you all know, because I have William Perkins. These are Puritan reprints. This is volume 9 of a 10-volume complete works. This is called the Works of William Perkins. Will be 10 volumes. This is the most recent volume I got. And then I've been reading off and on volume 8 of William Perkins' works. And then I read the other morning Canon, Covenant, and Christology, Rethinking Jesus in the Scriptures of Israel by Barrett. So these are basically what I've been reading in the mornings. And some mornings, to be honest, I wake up in the morning and I can't really read anything. I just feel kind of out of it, kind of blah. It's probably being under this, here in Michigan, we're under orders to stay home. And so the only place I ever went when I left the house was the library, the local library where I volunteered at the Book Nook, the library used bookstore, and that's been closed, not going on a month and a half. And doesn't seem the library is going to be opening up at all. So I don't have any new books from thrift stores to show. But I did get a book in the mail yesterday. This is a book. I got this from a book outlet. Excuse me. The Long Accomplishment, a Memoir of Hope and Struggle and Matrimony by Rick Moody. I got this. I came across it being really cheap. I got for, I think, $4 or $5. And I've been collecting Rick Moody. He's a current writer. This came out in, I think, 2019. Yeah, this one came out in 2019. So when I knew I was going to get this in the mail by Rick Moody, I got out the last books that I bought or found, and I've been reading those in my being out of it kind of state. The Right Livelihoods, 3 novellas by Rick Moody. Been reading the first novella in here, The Omega Force. So I've been reading that. And then I got out another book I recently, I think maybe a year ago, Hotels of North America, a novel by Rick Moody. So I've been reading these the last couple of days, Rick Moody's writings. And I also started reading, I mentioned my library. There's a free little library here in our neighborhood, you know, the little mailbox kind of thing. And my wife found this book the other day, and I've been reading this, Before the Feast by Sasa Stanisic, translated by Andrea Bell. I did order used. This is translated out of, I think it's translated out of German or French. Anyway, I got this and I ordered his last book that was translated out of English, which was, let me see, it has a long title. How the Soldier Repairs the Gramophone. I ordered that one used. It's supposed to get in the mail sometime this month. So I've been reading the Before the Feast by Sasa Stanisic. But as far as Rick Moody, I thought I'd just show you my Rick Moody collection. It's like one thing about me, as far as I'm a book collector, I collect every book I can find by a certain writer. So like I have all Norman Mailer's books. I have all of John Updike, Saul Bellows, Joyce Carol Oates, Iris Murdoch, Thackeray, Charles Dickens. It just goes on and on. So it's kind of hard to get rid of anything because you don't want to break up your collection of a certain writer or subject matter. So I collect all of Rick Moody, even ones if I see any Rick Moody book, even though I might have it, I still buy it, especially if I find it in thrift stores or used book sales. This is another edition of Rick Moody's Right Livelihoods, which is the same thing as this one, different covers. See, this is this one, and this is this one. And then I have The Ice Storm by Rick Moody. And then this is a book of poetry. No, these are novellas and stories. The Ring of Brightest Angels Around Heaven. So this is how I first got into Rick Moody, was reading these novellas and stories. And then there's Demology, Stories by Rick Moody. Then this is another memoir by Rick Moody, The Black Veil. Says here in the back, an intoxicating, gate-crashing wonder of a read. It is no surprise that a memoir by Rick Moody would be a book like no other. So this is his. This is about his earlier life. I have another copy of The Black Veil by Rick Moody. And then I have Purple in America by Rick Moody. This is another copy of Purple in America by Rick Moody. And then The Diviners. then the last book I read besides the Memoirs was the Four Fingers of Death. I started rereading this last night. I never really got finished it. So I've been reading this also. So those are my Rick Moody books. I highly recommend his writings. If you see them at thrift stores or used book sales, go to the library and check him out. He's really worth reading. So that's my Rick Moody collection. I've been really enjoying Hotels of North America. What this is, it's a novel based on a character who goes around reviewing hotels. It's pretty hilarious, kind of black humor, very funny. So that's my Rick Moody collection. I've shown in the past other collections of my... yeah, I collect all kinds of writers. It just goes on and on and on. So that's what's going on. Like I said, nothing's moving here in Michigan. We're on shutdown, and so I spend my days, like I said, I'm a slow reader. I go all over the map. It's like maybe this week I'll get back into reading The Wonderful Works of God by Herman Bavinck, and I also been reading the Reformation commentary on Joshua, Judges, and Ruth. Been reading on Joshua, the book of Joshua in the Old Testament. So I read this in the morning, and then I read Perkins, and then I read Bavinck, and then I read some New Testament theology, and then I read a book on the history of covenant theology, and then, the days just go by. I write in my diary, I watch the birds, talk to my wife. My wife has been off for 8 days, and did some yard work, and the weather's been kind of nice. Everything's blooming, everything's turning green in the flowers, and taking walks at Van Rolte Farm County Park, and so yeah. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope that I've gotten a lot of new subscribers the last 5 days. I thank you for subscribing, and hope you're all staying safe. Do thank you for your comments. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of out of it. I do read, I do write, I wander the house, I watch the birds, pray, seek the Lord, read the Bible. Like I said, I've been reading the book of Joshua in the Old Testament. One thing about the Bible, there's a verse here about Joshua. Like in the mornings, it says, the book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. That same promise that was given to Joshua is a promise given to all God's people. Do not be afraid nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So that's been a comforting word for me and for my wife and I, that the Lord is with us in these dark times, that He's there to give us grace and strength, and that while we are waiting upon Him, we read His word, and we meditate upon it day and night, and trust in His promises, and look to Him for all things. So I'll sign off, and I might make another video this week. I'm supposed to get books in the mail, but we'll see. So once again, thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for the comments. And until next time, bye.